What if I told you the difference between struggle and abundance isn't to your bank account, your job, or even your luck, but your mind? Behind every decision, every habit, every moment of self-sabotage lies a hidden narrative we rarely question. A broke mindset whispers fear, limitation, and excuses. A rich mindset demands courage, discipline, and uncomfortable truths. Most of us settle for comfort, yet crave wealth. Most chase money, yet ignore mastery over their own mind. Today, we confront the brutal truth. Mental discipline is not optional. It's the battlefield where poverty or prosperity is decided. We often spend our lives blaming the world for our circumstances. We look at the economy, at taxes, at luck, at the opportunities we didn't get, and we say, that's why I'm stuck. But here's the brutal truth. The world doesn't trap you. You trap yourself. And it's not your bank account, your education, or even your connections that define your life. It's your mindset. That invisible, quiet voice in your head that whispers what's possible and what's not, that decides whether you try or fold, that's the architect of your reality. A broke mindset doesn't scream. It doesn't necessarily make you lazy. It subtly convinces you that limits are fixed, that risk is dangerous, that other people's success is evidence of your failure. It thrives on small compromises, on delaying growth, convincing you you're being practical. And you don't even notice it. You think you're being reasonable, but in reality, you're building a prison with your own thoughts. Every fear you nurture, every excuse you repeat, every moment you let inertia win, it's all cementing the walls around your potential. Now contrast that with a rich mindset. A rich mindset doesn't just want money, it wants mastery. It wants clarity. It understands that the rules aren't written in stone and that scarcity is not a law of the universe. It's a habit of thought. When challenges come, and they always do, a rich mindset sees them as information, as opportunities to grow stronger, smarter, more disciplined. It's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, but it's liberating because it removes the hidden chains the Brock mindset doesn't even realize exist. Here's what most people miss. Mental discipline isn't about willpower for the sake of willpower. It's not about being tough or resistant. It's about training your mind to see the invisible, to hear the whispers of possibility in the noise of fear. It's about noticing the small moments where you can either reinforce limitation or expand your capacity. It's choosing consciously to direct your energy toward growth every single day. Even when it's inconvenient, even when no one is watching, even when the world seems to conspire against you. That's what separates those who stay broke from those who get rich. Not just financially, but intellectually, emotionally, and morally. And so, if you want to break free, start here. Examine your thoughts. Questio. The stories you tell yourself about what's possible, about who you are, about what you deserve. Strip away the excuses, the justifications, the false comforts. What you find there is more powerful than any job, any investment, any opportunity. It's the foundation. It's the secret weapon that decides whether you remain stuck or step into your true potential. Because at the end of the day, it's Simple. The world doesn't give opportunities to everyone, but your mind can create them for yourself. And that, my friends, is where it all begins. That comfort is a sneaky trap. It dresses itself up as safety, as reason, as practicality, and most of us fall for it without even realizing it. We tell ourselves, I'll play it safe, or I don't want to rock the boat, and in that moment, we're making a choice. Not just about what we do today, but about the trajectory of our entire life. A broke mindset clings to comfort because it fears discomfort. It fears the unknown. It fears failure. And it whispers lies to justify inaction. It's too risky. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not ready. Here's the harsh truth. Comfort will never make you rich. It will never make you strong. It will never make you free. E-world doesn't reward those who stay within their bubble. It rewards the ones willing to walk into uncertainty, to challenge themselves, to risk embarrassment, loss, and even failure. A rich mindset understands that every moment of discomfort is actually a stepping stone, a signal that you are expanding, that you are leveling up, that you are doing what most people won't. Think about it. Look at every person who has achieved extraordinary success, not just financially, but in life, in influence, in legacy. Every one of them has been uncomfortable. Every one of them has faced situations where staying comfortable meant giving up, giving in, or settling for less than they were capable of. But they chose differently. They embraced discomfort because they understood that ease is an illusion and that growth always lives on the other side of challenge. And here's the thing. Embracing discomfort isn't reckless. It's calculated, it's deliberate, it's mental discipline in action. You don't just throw yourself into chaos blindly. You test, you learn, you adapt, you push just beyond the edge of what feels safe. And with every small step, the broke mindset shrinks a little, and the rich minds. ET grows stronger, more confident, more capable. You start to see that the very things you feared, failure, rejection, uncertainty, are actually the engines of your potential. Most people will never do this because it's uncomfortable. They will stay stuck in jobs they hate, in routines that numb them, in relationships and habits that drain them. They call it security, but it's not. It's stagnation. And every day that passes without pushing past comfort is a day the rich-minded are moving ahead, building resilience, building skill, building wealth in ways that can't be taken away. So here's the takeaway. Comfort is not your friend. It's the silent enemy of ambition. Every time you choose ease over growth, you strengthen the cage around yourself. Every time you lean into challenge, every time you say yes to discomfort, you are training your mind, building your discipline, and proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. At the end of the day, comfort feels good in the moment, but courage pays dividends for a lifetime. Choose courage, choose growth, and never let comfort make decisions for you. Most of us are our own worst enemies, and we rarely even notice it. We sabotage ourselves in small, quiet ways every day, telling ourselves stories that sound reasonable, even rational, but are really just excuses. A broke mindset thrives on these subtle acts of self-destruction. I'll start tomorrow, we say. I'm too tired, or I'm not ready yet. And just like that, momentum dies, opportunity slips away, and the gap between where we are and where we want to be gets wider. It's not the economy, the boss, or the market holding us back. It's the little choices we make every single day. Now, imagine the alternative: self-mastery. It doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you won't fail. Self-mastery is about awareness, about recognizing the patterns in your own behavior that keep you small, stuck, and limited. It's about saying, I see what I'm doing, I understand the consequences, and I'm going to do it differently. It's discipline in action. It's turning intention into execution. And here's the key: it's consistent. Not dramatic bursts, not motivation that comes and goes. It's showing up day after day, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one is watching, even when failure is a very real possibility. The brutal truth is that NT, education, or luck won't save you if you sabotage yourself. Mental discipline is the difference between someone who talks about their dreams and someone who achieves them. It's the difference between thinking you deserve success and proving you're capable of it. The rich mindset understands this. Success isn't a straight line. It isn't a matter of being smarter or luckier. It's about being disciplined enough to stay in the game, to learn from mistakes, to pivot when necessary, and to keep executing no matter how tempting the easy path feels. And the irony is this: self-sabotage always promises relief, but it delivers regret. Every time you give in to distraction, procrastination, or fear, you feel temporary comfort, but deep down, you know you're falling behind. Self-mastery feels hard, in the moment, but it builds confidence, resilience, and freedom. It rewires your mind to focus on long-term gains instead of short-term relief. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, but it's unstoppable. So here's the takeaway. Every time you catch yourself making excuses, recognize it as sabotage. Every time you push yourself to act, even when it's uncomfortable, recognize it as mastery. The line between broke and rich isn't your salary, your connections, or your luck. It's whether you control yourself or let yourself control you. Mental discipline isn't a suggestion. It's a non-negotiable. At the end of the day, you either master yourself or the world masters you. That's the choice. And it's the choice that will define your life. Think about the story you tell yourself every day. I don't mean the facts. I mean the narrative you live by. The one that explains why things happen to you the way they do. Most people live trapped in a story of scarcity, a story that whispers, you can't do this, you don't deserve that. Opportunities are for other people, not you. It's subtle, it doesn't yell, but it shapes every choice you make, every risk you avoid, every chance you never take. Hat story becomes the lens through which you see the world. And it's incredibly hard to see past it when you've been telling it for years. A broke mindset thrives on these stories because they feel safe. Scarcity feels like a law of nature. Money is hard to come by. I was born into these circumstances. This is as good as it gets. When you believe these stories, you don't even try to fight you accept them as truth. And here's the kicker. The world will conform to the story you tell yourself. If you tell yourself you're limited, you'll act limited. If you tell yourself you're powerless, you'll settle for powerlessness. But the rich mindset does something radically different. It notices the story, it questions it, it rewrites it, and it rewrites it relentlessly. Instead of seeing scarcity, it sees opportunity. Instead of seeing obstacles, it sees lessons. Instead of thinking, I'm not enough, it thinks, I will learn, adapt, and grow until I am enough. This isn't some fluffy positive thinking. This is strategy. This is mental discipline. Because changing your story changes the choices you make, the people you attract, the energy you bring into every room, and ultimately, the results you achieve. Rewriting your narrative doesn't happen overnight. It starts small. You notice the language you use, the excuses you repeat, the fears you accept as reality. You catch yourself thinking, I can't, and immediately ask why not. You challenge assumptions you've never questioned, and slowly, over time, your mind stops being a prison and starts being a workshop, a place you design the life you actually want, instead of reacting to the life you were given. Here's what most people fail to understand. Your circumstances don't define you, your narrative does. A broke mindset waits for proof, for external validation, for someone else to give permission. A rich mindset understands that the story is yours to write, no matter your age, no matter your background, no matter your bank account. Mental discipline is the pen, your mind is the canvas. And every time you consciously rewrite, every time you question scarcity and claim possibility, you're creating leverage that money alone can't buy. At the end of the day, the stories you believe are the chains you wear, or the wings you fly with. Rewrite relentlessly. Refuse to be a character in someone else's story. Write your own. Intentions are easy. We all have dreams, goals, and ideas. We know what we want to achieve. We know what we should do. But knowing and doing are two completely different worlds. A broke mindset is full of intentions. It thinks, plans, waits, and hopes, but rarely acts. I'll start tomorrow, it says. I just need one more course, one more tip, one more perfect moment. And before you know it, time passes, opportunities vanish, and nothing changes. Intentions without action are just dreams that die quietly. A rich mindset is different. It doesn't just think about success. It executes. It doesn't just plan. It understands that the difference between those who stay stuck and those who get ahead isn't luck, connections, or even talent. It's relentless, disciplined action. It's showing up when no one is watching. It's making the call, sending the email, taking the first step, even when the path is uncertain. Because action, even imperfect action, is the only thing that turns possibility into reality. Here's the brutal truth. Thinking big without acting is a form of self-sabotage. It makes you feel productive, but it produces nothing. It keeps you comfortable, but it keeps you small. The rich mindset knows that failure isn't the enemy. Inaction is. Every time you hesitate, every time you wait for perfect conditions, you reinforce the broke mindset, and the gap between where you are and where you could be widens. Action is the bridge. Action is the battlefield. Action is the only currency that turns thought into tangible results. And let's be clear, action is not reckless. It's strategic. It's measured. It's focused. A rich mindset doesn't act blindly. It observes, tests, adapts, and executes. It fails, yes. It fails forward. Each failure is data. Each attempt is a lesson, and each step, no matter how small, compounds over time. Mental discipline is the engine that fuels this action. It keeps you moving when motivation fades, when excitement wanes, when fear shows up. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for inspiration. They wait for someone else to tell them it's okay. But life doesn't R&D waiting. Life rewards execution. Rich-minded people create leverage by turning small actions into habits, habits into routines, and routines into results. They understand that the grand vision is meaningless without the daily grind that makes it real. Execution transforms dreams from invisible ideas into visible impact, and that's where wealth, of money, influence, or personal growth, is truly CR. So here's the takeaway. Thought without action is empty. Desire without discipline is fantasy. Intent without execution is wasted potential. If you want to break free from a broke mindset, you have to start moving. You have to start now. And every step you take, no matter how uncomfortable or uncertain, is proof that you're no longer defined by what you think. You're defined by what you do. At the end of the day, action is the great equalizer. Without it, nothing changes. With it, everything becomes possible. Here's the truth most people ignore. Your emotions are either your greatest ally or your worst enemy, and most of us let them run the show. A broke mindset reacts. It panics when money is tight. It gets jealous when someone else succeeds. It gives in to fear, doubt, and instant gratification. Every decision becomes emotional, impulsive, and short-sighted. We think we're making rational choices, but in reality, we're letting our moods dictate our future. Fear makes us hide. Impatience makes us quit. Envy makes us settle. And over time, these unmanaged emotions quietly drain potential, destroy opportunities, and reinforce scarcity. Now, a rich mindset understands something. Most people never learn. Emotions are powerful, but they are not destiny. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you don't feel fear, anger, or doubt. It means you feel them, recognize them, and refuse to be controlled by them. It's the ability to pause, think, and choose deliberately, instead of reacting automatically. It's the discipline to turn frustration into focus, anxiety into action, and desire into patience. This is mental discipline in its purest form. It's what allows someone to invest, to negotiate, to persevere, to take calculated risks while others shrink back. Here's the brutal part. Most people think wealth is purely financial. They chase the numbers, the job titles, the bonuses, and ignore the internal battle. But the truth is, your emotional state determines your financial state, your relationships, and your capacity to grow. Every millionaire who has sustained success, every leader who has made a lasting impact, understands that controlling the mind is far more valuable than controlling the bank account. You can earn millions, but if your emotions dominate you, you'll squander it, burn out, or make reckless decisions. Emotional mastery protects your results. Emotional mastery multiplies your impact. Emotional mastery creates real, lasting freedom. And here's where mental discipline becomes non-negotiable. It's not enough to act. It's not enough to think positively. You must manage your inner world relentlessly. You must notice when fear, envy, or impatience creeps in. You must confront the impulses that lead to bad choices. You must train yourself to respond rather than react. Because every decision you make under emotional control compounds. Every choice made impulsively compounds in the wrong direction. Over time, the difference is exponential. Emotional mastery is the hidden wealth factor, the silent force that separates those who endure from those who collapse. So here's the takeaway. Your mind and your emotions are the battlefield. Every thought, every feeling, every reaction is either building you up or tearing you down. Mental discipline gives you control, but emotional mastery turns control into power. The broke mindset lets feelings dictate outcomes. The rich mindset lets feelings inform choices, but never dictate them. Master this, and nothing in e-world can hold you back. At the end of the day, wealth isn't just money, it's freedom, clarity, resilience, and the ability to act decisively in every moment. Master your emotions, master your mind, and the world bends to your discipline. If you want, I can now combine all 6 expanded key points into a single seamless full-length speech, fully polished, flowing naturally from start to finish. In this live, impactful, Charlie Kirk style delivery. This will give you a ready-to-deliver speech that's powerful, cohesive, and audience-gripping. Do you want me to do that next? What if I told you the battle between struggle and success isn't fought in the stock market, in business deals, or in your paycheck, but inside your own mind? Most people live trapped in invisible chains they don't even see: fear, excuses, and comfort. A broke mindset keeps you small, reactive, and dependent, while a rich mindset thinks, acts, and grows beyond limits. Today we're exposing the brutal truth: mental discipline isn't optional. It's the decisive factor that separates those who merely survive from those who dominate their lives and create real, lasting wealth.